Hello, everybody. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Andrew Scott with Favor and the Famine, and I am here today to talk about the new report that recently just came out. The Fed just exposed a financial crisis most people are ignoring. This is in reference to the Federal Reserve Shed Report 2025 and what it means for Black Americans and young people. So once again, thank you so much for tuning in. So before we proceed, do me a favor, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button on my YouTube page, go to my website, andrewscott.com, and go to and subscribe to my YouTube channel, Andrew S. Scott TV, and follow me on Facebook. Okay. Thank you so much for tuning in. So, first things first, I was going and looking at the shed report, and I was like, what is the actual shed report? And the shed report is actually what the Federal Reserve did, and it was actual a survey that was recently conducted with the confidence, a recent survey back in January of 2026 as well, reporting the confidence of Americans, specifically Black Americans, African Americans, and young people in regards to how the economy is. And I just wanted to go over this and go not only go over the data and the facts, but go over ways to combat this and to prepare for this and to make sure that we are all straight, we are all prepared, we are all financially more confident by the end of this video. So by the end of this video, not only will you know the statistics and the data, but you will also have different steps and tips that you can use to be more confident and be more financially secure and more financially steps you can take to be more financially confident to going forward in the future. So, first things first, the wake up call. So, and this is unfortunately, 4 out of 10 Black Americans are not doing okay financially. And the source is once again, the Federal Reserve, the SHED or the Share Report that was conducted in 2025. And this is due to not only the inflation, not only that has persisted, but it's actually elevated. You look at the gas prices with the war that's going on with Iran and, with the oil that's affecting the gas prices at the gas pump over here in Tennessee, in Middle Tennessee, the gas prices have even elevated above $4 periodically, but it's decreased a little bit. It's maintained around between the 350 to the 380 mark. But it's even elevated to, I've seen the highs at $4.23 a gallon. And the groceries are actually still elevated as well. And with that, so 60% are financially okay in 2025. So that's down. That's actually from 65% in 2024, 60% now in 2025. So that's actually a 5% decrease. And once again, like I said, there's so many factors that play into it. The job economy and the state of what's going on with the unemployment rate and with the job openings and the quote unquote, the AI evolution and what everybody's, what the companies are adopting, but it's mainly the inflation. So that is such a wake up call, and that's something that we need to be cognitive about. We need to be aware about to take the necessary measures to move forward and to take the necessary steps to improve in these areas during these tough times, these tough situations. So by the numbers, what the Fed found, so the Federal Reserve survey of households, once again, 60% of Black Americans are financially quote unquote okay or comfortable in 2025, which is down 5%, which was 65% in 2024, the year prior. And 63% of adults between the ages of 18 and 29 reporting financial stability in 2025. And you're thinking like, okay, 63%, okay, but that's still, as I continue to go over the information, you're going to see how glaring that is in a moment. And 49% of people are under 30 living with parents, up 12 points since 2019. And I know there's certain factors and certain things that actually affected that. And, we had the pandemic in 2020. and the unemployment rate was periodically intensified during that time, but it actually bounced back afterwards between 2021 to 2023 and somewhat 2024. But 2024 is when they started anticipating or even forecasting a quote unquote recession. So this is actually, we're in 2026 now. Another statistic is 88% of Americans entering 2026 are having financial stress, according to the NEFE January 2026. And that is the recent survey that was recently conducted. So, which brings me to my next point. So, not only are these things happening and these things going on where Americans, specifically young Americans and Black Americans, are feeling not as confident or feeling not as secure as previous years, but there are certain things that we can do to combat this. We can prepare for this and actually have certain steps and things in place to position us in a better position us better. So 50% of black adults can cover unexpected expense of $400 emergency with cash. So, which is actually pretty alarming, which is very glaring because $400, in some ways it does sound like a lot, but it really doesn't sound like a lot because what $400 actually looks like, that is an unexpected car repair. Now, trust me, I know what that is. I know what that means. I mean, you got, let's say your brake fluids down, or you got a leak in your car, you got to flush out your coolant, which I'm having to do now with my car. After so many miles, it's recommended, highly recommended and necessary to flush out your coolant system and replace it with new coolant system after like 30,000 or 50,000 miles, something like that. I'm way overdue. So I'm trying to tend to that now to get that addressed. So to make sure I don't do the balloon effect where or neglect it and it actually there's a drastic, unexpected expense when I could have actually fixed the initial problem, which is just flushing it out, get new coolant in there versus it messing up my radiator, messing up my engine or something, my motor, whatever. For example, an ER copay. So an ER copay, this is where the emergency fund is necessary of at least $400. Let's say you're going out, you're playing ball with your friends, or you end up getting sick, or your child ends up getting sick. I know it's the summertime now, but and they're playing outside, they're going to camps. Our children are going to camps. Let's say they fall and they hurt their knee, they twist their ankle. We got to take them to the doctor, take them to the ER. That emergency $400 emergency stash is necessary because anything can happen. It's an emergency or a rainy day, whatever you want to call it. Another example is a water heater. Thankfully, I have a new, blessed with a new recent home. And a few years ago, 2023, and it's all about maintenance and it's all about upkeep. So, but still, anything can happen. But it's also good to make sure to not be negligent of the upkeep and the maintenance things around the house. Make sure you change out your filters frequently. Make sure you flush out your water heater every year. Make sure you do the proper maintenance of everything. You check your smoke detectors, things of that nature, and change your water filters in your fridge. I use my the filtered water. I have the big reusable what is it, BPA or something like that, where it's plastic resist, where it doesn't have the harmful plastic chemicals. And I just wash it. It can go in my dishwasher. I reuse that. Use filtered water. Change out the filters. Check out your the circuits throughout your house and your filters and your HVAC. Another example, a dental visit. I've had this recently where it was like a couple of years ago. I went to I went to the dentist and I realized I need to replace like my fillings. Like one of them, the crown went off. and I had to replace the filling and the crowns on some other teeth. There were like three teeth, and that thing ended up being like, I ain't gonna hold you, it was like $600. Thankfully, it went down. Insurance covered it, but it was still, I think it went down to like 200-300. Insurance covered like half of it or something like that. That was an unexpected expense. Thank the Lord. Thankfully, I had some set aside for that. The emergency, the rainy day fund, whatever you want to classify it as, is essential. A month of medication is another example. And, like I said, if you end up going to the ER, your child ends up going to the ER, and you end up having to get medication. I don't know, for young people, for us, thankfully, I'm not really aware or familiar with medication that costs that much. But you never know. That's what it's for. Unexpected, sporadic, random. It's unexpected. You got to prepare. People, like the old saying goes, the quote is, people don't plan to fail. They fail to plan. So we got to have a plan in place. Have $400, at least $400 aside, because, like it says here, no cushion equals one setback away from a crisis. We don't want to do that. We want to be prepared. So, with that, there are five financial seasons in my favorite and family framework. The first one is seed time. The second one is growing season. The third one, harvest season. The fourth one is winter season. The fifth is famine season. And this is where we are now due to the economic state, how things are in society. There's times, like the Bible says, there's times in the seasons and everything. There's nothing new under the sun. There's ebbs. In other words, there's ebbs and flows. You got to ride the wave. It's not always going to be glitz and glamour. There's peaks and there's valleys. There's hills, and there's hills and there's valleys. So you got to be prepared for every season, and your money moves must match the season you're in. From yours truly, Andrew Scott. So next step. So now that we've established, or we have identified that we are in a famine season, what does it demand? What does it take? So we just got to be real. We got to be transparent. We got to be real with ourselves. Radical honesty. Know your real financial baseline, your income, your debt, and expenses. Get you a spreadsheet. There's apps out there now. There's Rocket Money. I use Rocket Money. Even your bank has certain software, certain tools that are actually complimentary. They're actually free. They're actually included in your app. Navy Federal, if you use Chase, if you use Capital One, they have the debt income calculator. Excuse me, they have certain things where you can type in or you can see your certain goals. They have different charts, things of that nature. Use a spreadsheet, Google Sheets, Microsoft Slides, or whatever. Apple has I forgot the name of it, but Apple has theirs as well. So you want to write everything down. The Bible says in Habakkuk, write the vision down and make it plain on the tablets. Though it tarry, wait on it. Or, you know what I'm saying? You have to write it down. Write it down. So even though you got to wait on it, it'll still come to pass. It basically is what it's saying. So you got to have a plan. If you want to plan, you want to get out of debt, you want to be financially secure or efficient, write down your income. Write down what you make per week, or down to if you get paid every 2 weeks, you get paid every week. Write it down. Write down your monthly income. Then list out all your debt. What's so cool about it, like I said, we have software now where it identifies it, it classifies it for you already, where it shows you in a chart, where it shows you even your credit reports, the credit software like Equifax and Trans something, Credit Karma, something like that. They show you what your debt is and it shows your expenses. It breaks it down for you. They have some where you have to pay for a subscription. They have some free ones. So, pros and cons for each one. So the ones you pay for they have it more seamless. They have it more user friendly, but the free ones do just as good. So just do your research on those. And your diversified income. Now I got to be real with you. This is something I learned from the pandemic. Something I learned from working in my career. One income stream is a single point of failure. So add, and then the next step is add a second within 90 days because it can be a little uncomfortable. It can be a little frightening, if you want to say, not like fear. We don't live in fear, but we have to be, you know, aware or recognize it is what it is. Somebody, God forbid, one accident away, one layoff away. If you're just depending on one income, that's not wisdom. You need to have multiple streams of income. So in case one cuts off, you still have other streams coming in to supplement what you need to take care of your bills, take care of your expenses, take care of your family, take care of your mortgage, take care of your light bill, your electricity, your phone bill, your gas bill, your car note, whatever. So the goal with that is add a second stream of income within 90 days. That's plenty of time. That's 3 months. Find something that you can do, whether that's Amazon Flex, whether that's DoorDash, whether that's Uber Eats, whether that's whatever, a second job, whatever, whether that's, entrepreneurship, whether that's freelancing. Do something within, make a goal, have a second stream, and at least within 90 days. Thirdly, community and collective economics. Feminists survive together. Blending circles, shared resources, group economics. Like, I know it can feel embarrassing. It can feel like, or it can feel some type of shame or some type of guilt, some type of whatever. You're not alone. Let me be real with you. Where's the camera? You are not alone. We all have struggles. We all have challenges. We're not always going to be in the most ideal place or the ideal situation. Let me be real with you. Let me say it again. You are not alone. I have goals that I have not met yet. I would like to be another step ahead as far as my financial goals. But thank God I am in a good state right now. Now I'm thankful, but I'm not going to be stagnant. So whatever the grace, whatever the resources that God has for me right now, I'm going to be a good steward of them because I know He is my resource, our resource. He is Jehovah Jireh, but He gives us the ability to obtain wealth according to His will and according to His power and according to His glory and what He has for us in due season. So, with that being said, reach out to people, do lending circles, share resources, group economics. Like I said in my previous video, if you have not watched it, pause right here, go to my last video on my YouTube page, Andrew S. Scott TV on YouTube. Subscribe to my channel, like, and go to the video, the favorite famine, how to thrive in the seven steps on how to thrive in a recession. And I talk more about that, or it's 10 steps on how to thrive in a recession. One of them is being collaborative, being in a collective mindset, and being actual, in a community, and lending resources, being vocal, exchanging resources, grouping your resources to work together. It's not good to be in isolation. Not always good to be in isolation. It's not always good to be alone. We're not made to be alone. Let's work together. Fourth thing, invest in your knowledge. People who emerge ahead, or the people who actually improve, or the ones who get a step closer to their goals and their dreams and their destiny, are the ones who got sharper during the famine. This is the time where, yes, things can be tough, things can be challenging. I'm not saying don't be human. We all have emotions. We have to work through those things. This is the key time to sharpen ourselves, to invest. And I'm going to be transparent again. I know I say I'm going to be real live. I'm going to be for real, for real. When was the last time that you were like as creative when you were comfortable? When was the last time when you look back, weren't you the most resilient? Weren't you the most ferocious? Weren't you the most focused and goal driven when you were uncomfortable? When you were struggling, there were struggles, there were challenges that actually pushed you, that pushed us. This is where we are now. Don't run from it. Lean into it in a positive, in a healthy way by investing in yourself, investing in your knowledge. I mean, it's human nature. Whenever we're comfortable, whenever we are complacent or whatever, we're not, we get laxed. And that's okay to be lax sometimes. There's a time and a season for everything. Like I said in the Bible, there's a time and a season for everything. But a lot of times we're not able to push into the destiny that God has for us until we're uncomfortable, until we lose something, until a resource is gone or a friend walks out or something like that. During a famine, it's a time to invest in knowledge, self improvement, work with other people, and diversify income. But it starts with being honest with yourself. Now, with that being said, and to continue on, favor doesn't cancel in a famine. In the Bible, in 1 Kings 17, God sent the prophet Elijah to a widow in Zarephath. I think that's how you pronounce it. A woman in famine with just enough for one last meal. So it was where, Elijah met this woman and she was like hesitant or she was reluctant to give her last meal. But Elijah said, the prophet said, this is what the Lord says, do this and you will be blessed. And she ended up being blessed way more than she realized or anticipated. And that's actually speaking to me because how many times, and I'm speaking to myself, how many times are we holding on to something that we know serves no more value to us because we're afraid to let go of what God has for us that's even better, that's even bigger? Andrew, you preaching to yourself right now. I'm going to be real with you. I hear you, Lord. How many times have we, out of fear, out of comfort, out of fear of the unknown, we did not let go of what was, of what we've been used to in order to receive the blessing that's ahead of us? Think about that. So Faber didn't avoid her situation. Faber showed up in it. But the key to it is she had to take action. She had to partner with her provision. So go back and read 1 Kings 17 about Elijah the prophet and the lady Miss Zarephath. I think that's how you pronounce it. So the takeaway from this is your season is not your sentence. Man, that's a word. Your season is not, which in other words, what you're going through right now is not permanent. It's temporary. So learn from it, grow from it. Don't sulk in it. Don't digress or regress or don't shrink in the moment. Keep walking and fighting the good fight of faith. If you got to cry, cry. If you have to be sad, if you have to be mad, let those feelings out. Journal. Talk to somebody you can trust. Well, most importantly, talk to God. He knows everything anyway. And keep going. So, to wrap things up, the overview, the 5 moves to make right now, today, as you're watching this, get your pen and paper. I'm big on pen and paper. Like, yeah, technology's cool with the phone and with the Apple Notes and with the Google Docs and all that. It is more retainable Yeah, scientifically proven, like for real, scientifically proven through research, your brain is able to retain it more. You're actually more motivated if you write down with a pen and paper. That's why it's important not to get rid of pen and paper. Technology's cool, even in the classrooms. I ain't trying to go too far off subject, but get your pen and paper. Step number one, start the $400 fund, emergency fund, rainy day fund. Cash in a high yield savings account, which is liquid, but it's untouched. What does liquid mean, Andrew? Which just means you have cash that's available to you. It's not tied up in an asset where during this time, there's time seems of everything, but during this time, you need to have liquid, which means it's not tied up in some like where you can't get it out immediately, where it's like tied up in real estate, it's tied up in a CD, a certificate of deposit, something you got to wait on until that time frame for you to get the money out. It needs to be something where you can, it's easily attainable, something you easily get. Number two, map your income streams. If you only have one, that's your biggest financial risk. Anything can happen. Anything can happen. You do not want to depend on one income stream. And I can go, and I'm going to go more and more further in that into the next video, into the next later on in a continuation video. You do not want to have one. You want to have multiple, where that's, like I said earlier, you want to have stocks, you want to have bonds, you want to have real estate, you want to have something where you're freelancing, you want to have Uber Eats, DoorDash, Lyft, whatever. You want to have something, Amazon Flex, whatever. Number three, know your seasonal spending. So something that you can do that's tangible right now, that's actually call to action right now pertaining to this. Pull 3 months of your last bank statements. Find the bleeding. Where is your money going now? Where you can actually control, that you can actually cut back. Is it a subscription that you're no longer using? Is it something like, okay, there's so many streaming platforms right now. You got Netflix, you got Hulu, you got Amazon, you got Peacock, you got Paramount, all of them. Hulu. I realized Hulu's one of them. I've been saying for the longest, I ain't got no problem with Hulu, but there's nothing on there that I've been watching, that we've been watching, and it's just recurring every month. That's an example. Find the bleeding where there's unnecessary spending, where you can actually cut that off and use it towards building your income, building your wealth. Number four, build community wealth. Lending circles, collective purchasing, financial partnerships. Reach out to other people who are actually interested in financial wellness. Reach out to other small business owners. Reach out to other business professionals. Reach out, just reach out. Reach out to your community. Reach out. Don't do it alone. And number five, this is a time, invest in your knowledge. Famine season sharpeners become harvest season leaders. Let me say that again for the people in the back. Like I heard a wise person say, famine season sharpeners become harvest season leaders. So I got a garden in my backyard. I got the garden bed. I got a bunch of vegetables. I got beets growing. I got collard greens. I have carrots. I have onions planted. I have spinach, broccoli, okra. So pretty much I got like 10, 12 things out there in the big garden bed. It's my second year doing the garden, which I really enjoy. One of my new favorite hobbies. There's certain ones where it's actually more, they thrive more in certain temperatures, in certain seasons. Collard greens and okra thrive better in the summertime when it's really hot. They're more heat resistant. The broccolis and the spinach and the beets are more like cooler weather, fall and spring. I bring that up because you can't be impatient with whatever season you're in, but you have to be confident and thankful that you have the seed in the ground, knowing that as long as you continue to be a good steward and water it, plow and tend to it and prune and resist, tend to the pesticides or the fungicides and the pests or whatever. Pretty much, when you being a good steward and you being diligent, your harvest is going to come. We just got to put the work in. So now's the time to build. You may not see the return on your investment. You may not see it coming to fruition today, tomorrow, next week, next month, next year. But if you are content in all circumstances, then you can do all things through Christ who strengthens us, and you will see it one day. So, financial well-being by group 2025, percentage reporting doing okay or living comfortably according to the Federal Reserve Shade Report. So the data is real, the disparity is real, but so is the favor. Make sure if you enjoyed this video, which I'm confident you are, like this video, subscribe to my YouTube channel, Andrew S. Scott TV on YouTube. Go to my website, andrewscott.com. Share it with your circle. Share it with, text it to your friends or your family members. Email it, whatever, repost. And reach out if you'd like to receive my free 5 financial season guide available at andrewscott.com. I'll email it directly to you. If you would like one-on-one coaching, a group coaching, a cohort, then email me at andrewscott.businesses@gmail.com. Or you can even text me at my business line at 832-387-5956. Y'all take care. Y'all be confident. Remember, there's favor in the famine, but there has to be faith first. God bless.